What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This weekend is going to be a crazy weekend. I am going on another road trip, another crazy adventure, and this time life has taken me up to New England, to basically the majority of the Northeast USA. I'm going up to Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, and Massachusetts. So this video is going to be dedicated to today, where I'm basically driving from my home here in Long Island, New York, all the way up through upstate New York into Albany, and then into Vermont, to the very bottom of Vermont, and then all the way up to Stow and everywhere in between. So like I said, this video is just going to be dedicated to today and our adventures in Vermont, and the rest of the videos in the coming weeks will be dedicated to the other days in the other states. So yeah, I'm very excited to see this part of the country. I live pretty close to it and I've never seen it before, which is pretty surprising. So it'll be my first time in Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, and Massachusetts. And as you guys know, I have kind of like this goal to hit all 50 states by road, excluding Hawaii, obviously. So 49 states by road, but I still want to visit all 50 states. So going back to my point though, this trip is special because New Hampshire will be my 20th state by road. So I'm hitting 20 states on this trip, and that's just really awesome. So it's like 4:30 in the morning right now. You guys know I like to get a head start on my trips because I live like outside New York City, and if I don't leave at 4:30 in the morning, I'm gonna get stuck in traffic. So yeah, it's wee hours out here. So I'm gonna quit yapping and let's go on with this trip. Like I said, guys, I love leaving for road trips at this time of the morning. It's so cool just seeing nobody out in my town on streets that are normally packed. It's so interesting. It just makes life feel like it's not real sometimes. It's crazy. The vibes are just immaculate. Alright, so we got on the highway, and unfortunately the sun is coming up. It's not as black out as I want it to be as we're getting close to the city. I like to be out of the city before the sun even comes up, and unfortunately it's starting to already, so we gotta get a move on. Alright guys, so we made it off Long Island. We're on the Throgs Neck Bridge now. Sun's coming up over here. Really nice looking. Over there in the distance is New York City. It's a little hazy out, but you can kind of see it. One thing I always loved about road trips and the New York City skyline is, like I said before, I live right outside New York City. So whenever I drive anywhere, I have to pass through New York City. So I always thought it was cool when I go on road trips to kind of like look in the rearview mirror and see like the skyline, like my home like disappear in the distance, you know? And then like the opposite, when I'm coming home after a long trip and I just want to get home, like seeing the Empire State Building in the distance, or just the New York skyline in general, like it's just like that, oh, I'm home feeling, you know? So I always associated with that, and I always loved that. Alright guys, so Throgs Neck Bridge took us from Long Island to the Bronx. Then we got out of Bronx, and now we are on the George Washington Bridge. Bronx is right there in the distance, and then there's New Jersey. I didn't realize we'd have to pass through a little bit of New Jersey. I don't mind that. My dad does. He hates New Jersey. And like I said, there's that New York City view. Just watch it get further and further away in the distance as we drive away. It's so cool. Alright guys, we are in New Jersey now. Just gonna drive through some rural northern Jersey, and then we'll be upstate New York. First mountains of the trip. So cool. Alright guys, out of New Jersey now, back in New York. And now the drive through upstate, up to Albany. We made it into the Catskill Mountains officially, and it's only an hour after we left. So this is exactly my point of leaving super early, so that way we beat the New York City morning traffic. You know, because if we left at like noon, for example, an hour, we would only be in like Queens, the Bronx if we're lucky. And now here we are already in the Catskills of upstate New York, so. Alright guys, so we pulled off in this little town called Newburgh off the Thruway. Gonna try to get some gas maybe, get some food, see what it's like. Town's pretty interesting. It's just very rural, you know. It's interesting seeing this little Catskill town like this. Alright guys, so we're pulling up on a Stewart's Shops right now. And if you've ever been upstate New York, you would know that this store is kind of like a staple. If you ever drive upstate New York, you need to visit one of these places because I don't know how to explain it. They're just all over the state, at least upstate. They're not in the city or on Long Island, but they're all over upstate, and you gotta check it out if you ever get the chance. See, this is basically it inside. It's just a cute little stop. Nothing special, but I love it here. It reminds me of driving upstate, reminds me of my vacations and road trips, and it's pretty cool. So I got a chocolate milk. It's pretty important to get like the chocolate milk here, strawberry milk, or even the ice cream and milkshakes, because Stewart's are like really upstate. And with that being said, obviously upstate New York is very rural, so there's a lot of mountains and farms, so all of like the ingredients and dairy in the ice creams and milk are like local and like fresh, so it tastes extra yummy. So like I was saying, if you're ever driving upstate New York, definitely come to Stewart's and get like ice cream or milk or something. So alright guys, so we left Newburgh and Stewart's. We're back on the New York State Thruway now, headed up towards Albany. Now we're really in the Catskills. You can see all the giant mountains in the distance. Really cool. Beat up farms along the highway. Alright guys, so we made it to Albany, New York. It is 7:47, about 8 o'clock in the morning now. And I just think it's crazy how we've already made it this far and it's not even 8 a.m. yet. So let me do a few things here that you guys will see in a few weeks, and then we are gonna head into Vermont. Alright guys, so we just left Albany. We stopped at another Stewart's in Troy, New York. Troy is definitely not the most nice looking and upkept city, that's for sure. But it's cool to see because you guys know I'm into that stuff and I've never been here before. But Albany is also the same way, not so nice looking, upkept, depending on where you go. Here's a brief view of Troy. Like I said, it's just nothing too special. Over here looks a little bit better. Where we were before was pretty run down and the people were very shady. Some interesting characters back there for sure. So we're about 25 minutes out from Vermont now, and that'll be nice because we've been driving upstate New York, which was fun, but we've been driving it for like the past 5-6 hours now, and it'll be nice to finally get out of New York and be in Vermont, in a new state. Check it out, super excited. But right now we're just like, we left Troy and now we're back in like rural country New York, and it's very beat up over here. A lot of rundown farms and houses, and yeah, you guys know I like that stuff, like I was saying before, so I'll try to show it if I pass any, but sometimes it does just come out of nowhere through the trees, so it's hard to get it all. See what I mean? Check that out. It's really cool seeing like these middle of nowhere type places, like this real like backcountry, backwoods, small towns in my own state, you know, because normally when I do this stuff, it's like down in Appalachia and like West Virginia or something. It's never here in New York. Like, look at this town. Welcome to Vermont. All right, guys, there's the welcome to Vermont sign. Right now, we are not in Vermont, but my dad's gonna hit the gas. Just crossed over into Vermont, finally. Damn. 10 seconds of being in Vermont, it's already gorgeous. Look at those mountains, so cool. We're pulling off at this welcome center. I don't know what that is. Looks like the Washington Monument, but can't be that. Guys, look at how gorgeous and like clean this state is, man. It's just, I don't know. Like as soon as me and my dad crossed over into Vermont, it just looked different. Like we can't explain why, but it just looked like cleaner and different. It's weird. But we're driving now up to Stow. It's about 3 hours up to Stow, so a nice road trip through the state. And we just saw a moose crossing sign for the next 15 miles, which is pretty cool. So, moose all up in there. Guys, you wanna know what's funny? I don't want to be like stereotypical or anything, but like I heard so many like memes and stereotypes that like in Vermont, you're gonna see like so many Subaru Foresters. We've been in the state for like 15 minutes and it's basically like the only car I've seen. It's so funny how that's like true. I wonder why that is. Guys, check out how cool this is. We are like completely alone on this highway right now. Look at that. No one behind us, no one in front of us. Check out these mountains, they're so big. So it looks like we're actually coming up on a town now, which would be the first time in a half hour, or at least the first time since we've got to Vermont, because we've basically just been driving in the middle of the woods in the mountains for the past half hour since we've been here. So I'm interested to see what a Vermont town looks like. That's really it. Just a gas station, a little private restaurant, and a few couple houses, and then that's it. That's the town. What's this? Maybe like a school or something? No, it's a little farm. That's cool. So far, all I've been seeing is just complete country with nothing besides mountains and trees. And then when you do see a town, oh damn, look at that, that's awesome. Oh, I love stuff like that. And that, bro, come on, that's awesome, dude, look at that. Alright, sorry, going back to my point. When you do see something, it's like a little town with like a few restaurants, a couple houses, and like little farms. Like it's all of Vermont is, at least so far. I mean, I haven't been to a city yet, like Stow or Burlington, but I don't know, man. I'm kind of digging this state. So I just saw a sign. It said, welcome to the Green Mountain National Forest. So, sorry about that. So I guess that we're there now, which is pretty cool. Houses over here. little beat up. Not really though. Kind of nice looking actually. They just looked a little rough through the trees. That one was. Oh dude, look at this church. That's cool. So we're in a town right now and it kind of looks just like normal, I guess. It doesn't really look like Vermont. It kind of looks similar to a lot of places near where I live on the island. So it's pretty cool, I guess, seeing this in Vermont after what we just passed through, you know, all those mountains and small towns, you know, seeing a place like this with the usual, you know, Sonicos and Denny's and, you know, the chains. Look at this place, guys, the Vermont State Fair. They got gun shows, car shows, rodeos. It's real country stuff, man. That's awesome. Yeah, guys, this really just looks like a town by me. You got Five Guys, Wendy's, Burger King, just, you know, fast food places and car dealerships, convenience stores like Walgreens and CVS. There's a Starbucks, mechanic, houses along the side streets. Alright guys, so we're leaving that town now and we're headed up to Stow, about an hour and a half longer. We should be there. And yeah, just leaving the town. Probably gonna be in rural Vermont again soon, out in the country, based off the looks of that up ahead. So yeah guys, like I said, we are back in the country now. Personally, I like this side of Vermont much better than where we just were. Where we just were kind of wasn't my cup of tea. Not really what I want to see on a vacation, because I'm just so used to that back home, you know what I mean? This is the kind of stuff I want to see, you know? Look at this, guys. We're in Killington, Vermont right now, which is like a really, really popular ski town, and you can see all the skiing resorts over there and the ski lifts in the mountains. That's pretty cool. This part of the drive should be really scenic, since Killington is like the heart of the Green Mountains. Deep, dark woods of the Northeast. You gotta love it. So since we left the New York State Thruway back in New York, we've been on nothing but like local highways and back roads through the rest of New York and all of Vermont. But we recently just got on Interstate 89 and we're taking that up to Stow now. And it'll be cool because it'll be nice and fast. You can go fast on interstates, as you can see. So we're just gonna ride this out a little while. Guys, so now we're in Montpelier, however you say that, in the capital of Vermont, which is pretty cool. We got all those mountains in the distance. Alright guys, so we got off the interstate, now we're back on some rural road, some local highway. Oh yo, look at that, Ben & Jerry factory, that's cool. I always knew it was in Vermont, I didn't know we were going to pass it though. Anyway, we're back on some local highway now. And we're about 15 minutes out from Stow, which is pretty cool. So our road trip for the day through Vermont is about to come to an end because we're about to get to our final destination. And it's only 2 o'clock, which is pretty impressive. You got the mountains over there. It's a little bit cloudy today, so a lot of the tops of the mountains are a little hazy, but it kind of looks cool. Cool. Alright guys, so now we're not even on a local highway anymore. We're just on a back road through the mountains towards our hotel in Stow. About 5 minutes now at this point. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this place. Nice green hills, grass. Alright y'all, we made it to our hotel for the night. Place looks pretty cool. Alright guys, so we are in the hotel room. It looks pretty cool and there's a really cool feature that I will show you. So, beds, TV, we got the bathroom slash like kitchen thingy majiggy over here. But then this, we got a little outdoor deck over here, which it's really, really cool. So, honestly, me and Dad are gonna get some rest, cause it was a long day, but we will pick up our day a little bit again later because we have all day. It's 2:30 right now in the afternoon. And yeah, we'll probably go exploring Stow after, get some dinner maybe, and yeah, call it a day. But for right now, I'm gonna drop there. And alright guys, so it's a few hours later and we're just driving through the main street of Stow right now. It's very crowded, but it's basically just all like, cute little houses and restaurants and stores. I'm trying to figure out if it's worth it to even find a spot though and like walk, because I don't know. Again, like I'm saying, it's a cute little ski town or whatever, but I don't know if it's worth it to like deal with all this traffic and get out. I mean, it's really just a few restaurants and like souvenir shops and stuff like that. Honestly, I don't know. We might just go get something to eat. So we're eating at this restaurant right now, and it's like a bike shop slash restaurant, so it's pretty cool. It's very cozy inside. Guys, look at this monster meal. Chicken fingers and fries, nachos, I got a burger. That restaurant we ate at for dinner was pretty cool. It was like a base camp for mountain bikers. It was like a store for them and like a base basically at the bottom of the mountain where they do their biking, but it was like also a restaurant combined into that for people. And yeah, so what we're gonna do now is, because the sun is like starting to set a little bit, we're kind of gonna just like drive north towards Canada and try to like go into the back roads a little bit, maybe just get lost in the wilderness, I guess you could say, and yeah, just see what we see. The view of the mountains behind us were incredible. Like I said, I wanted to kind of just drive north aimlessly on the back roads like this, because I know northern Vermont has a lot of mountains and farms, so I thought it would just be kind of cool to check out what's going on up here if we had some free time, which we did. So guys, check out that trailer house surrounded by the trees on the other end of that field. There's no roads getting there. See, who even lives there and how do they get there? Guys, I just had to pull over for a minute. Come on. Look at that. How gorgeous is that? I knew I was not making a mistake coming up here, driving aimlessly. I knew it. And then behind me is that mountain. It's just some quiet country back road. Another barn destroyed, beat up, worn out. And then this little shack or shed or whatever this was, right off the side of the road. On that mountain, you can see the ski slopes at the very, very top. Alright, so we left the main dirt road and now we're gonna head up side street dirt road, which is I think the one that has all the houses on it. So we'll see where this takes us. Who knows? Just keep on following this road and see where it takes us. When I told my dad let's drive up to North Vermont and just like drive aimlessly, I didn't think we'd end up finding a real middle of nowhere road like this though. We gotta do it. We gotta do it. I'm gonna get stuck. And somehow this road just got even worse. Oh man. So you guys see that? How grown that is? That means no one has really driven here in a long time. So there's this at the end of the road, literally nothing. Maybe there was a building here at one point, but not anymore. But I doubt it. If there was anything here, it was like a trailer house and that's it. But it's all gone now. So to get out of here, we gotta literally back up that entire way. Guys, I don't know if you can see, but like we're at the very top of a cliff right now. God, it's like West Virginia all over again. I don't know if you guys remember that video or not, but it's like West Virginia all over again. Only this is like 10 times worse because at least West Virginia was like a colonized road. This is just really the middle of nowhere. No one around. But my dad's probably one of the best drivers I've ever met, so he's got this. Towards me a little bit. Keep going towards me. It's going towards the cliff again. Well, we have survived another scary, crazy situation as usual. Whenever I'm on one of these trips, or whenever me and my dad are on one of these like trips, we always find ourselves in some kind of like deadly situation because we always like to outdo ourselves with adventure and adrenaline and yeah, you know, but we're always good. So alright, so we're back on the main dirt road now, which at least has, you know, cars on it and telephone poles, and you know, hopefully it doesn't have any other roads like the one we were just on. Guys, look at that like log cabin. That is so cool. It's my dream house to have a house like that one day. Well, we are back on pavement and nice looking houses, so I guess we're, you know, getting closer to civilization. Alright guys, so we are back in the hotel now and I am going to call this video a quit. I think we had a very long, eventful day We drove from 4 o'clock in the morning. We drove all the way upstate New York to Albany, and then for my first time ever into Vermont, all the way up through Vermont into Stow, and passed and saw everything in between. Went just now, drove aimlessly on the back roads of northern Vermont. And now we're back in the hotel. It's just absolutely crazy day today. Yeah, I really don't know what to say. It's been an adventure as always. But if you guys enjoyed this video, definitely check out my channel for more adventures, because I still have a long weekend ahead of me with a lot of videos coming. So I will see you guys in the next one.